Hello world, so recently I watched the Devil May Cry Netflix series, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Very short, but I'm hoping a season 2 can flesh it out. After I was done though, it got me curious about the games. I knew the general plot, but I never actually took the time to sit down and play them. So, here's my experience with the first Devil May Cry. Quick disclaimer before we get into it, I've never reviewed a game before, so if this feels unprofessional, it's because it is. So this video is meant for people more so who maybe want to get into the series like I did, which was after watching the Netflix series. So if you're a vet, there's probably not going to be anything new for you, but I'd appreciate you sticking around for my opinion. Also, spoiler alert for this early 2000s video game. Anyway, enough talk, let's rock, baby.
Let's rock, baby.
God, that's so bad. Our story begins with this girl named Trish approaching Dante's establishment, Devil May Cry. After attacking him and seeing how powerful he is, she directs him to this castle, f***s off for almost the entire game until the end, and Dante is left to explore it on his own with the goal of reaching Mundus, the emperor of the underworld, in hopes of vanquishing him just like his father Sparta many ages ago. After getting stuck in the first room for almost 18 minutes, oh wait, that was just me. Oh my god. Dante makes his way through the castle, destroying everything in his path until he reaches Mundus, where he then vanquishes him. Dante and Trish escape together, and they form the establishment Devil Never Cry, a name that never sticks. Did that sound too simple? That's because it is. In this game, you're given a task, and you just seek to do it with no real B-plots in between. You get a few things, like Nello Angelo, who turns out to be a corrupt Virgil, and you murder him before you realize that, or before they thought to write that in, I guess. And Trish has her own side plot, seeing that she's a creation of Mundus, who looks like Dante's mother, which is why Dante agrees to help her in the first place. After she fails, according to Mundus, Mundus tries to kill her, but Dante saves her, kind of. And then all of a sudden, she's a good guy with this very interesting looking hug. I really hope they weren't trying to put in any romance type of thing with that, considering Trish looks like Dante's mom. I'm not going to elaborate past that.
Whoa,
What a hug. What a hug. I couldn't tell he cared about her from this wooden delivery. Instances like that, though, are pretty brief and not really expanded on. Trish is the most expanded, and it's like 4 cutscenes. Overall, I think the story is serviceable enough, but it's not anything groundbreaking, especially with the voice acting. Trust me, if you know, you know. Cue the scene.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Give it and the Oscar goes to. And the Oscar goes to. Okay, that's enough. Moving on to the gameplay. This game falls under the hack and slash category, which is a subgenre of beat 'em ups. Things like God of War, basically. It's also not as mindless as beat 'em ups, considering you have things like multiple weapons, multiple rooms of the castle for you to explore, items, other things like that. Do I like the game? Yes. Do I have some problems with it, though? Also yes. For starters, the fixed camera angles are pretty annoying. This game doesn't have tank controls like Resident Evil, but my god, you could tell this was a Resident Evil reject with the way the castle works. Because of this, enemy placement can sometimes feel cheap or difficult to spot, and it's just a tad displeasing. Nothing game-breaking, but just a little stain. The control is fine, albeit a little odd. In the HD collection, the version I played, it attempts to mitigate this a little bit, because in North America, on the PlayStation 2, the jump button was triangle. What? Glad I didn't have to deal with that, but also there were these underwater sections. These were so unnecessary. Unfortunately, this came out at a time where developers were trying to shoehorn anything into a new IP just to see what would stick, and these underwater controls did not. You see these for all of 2, maybe 3 missions, and then you never see them again in the entire series, not even when you're playing as Lucia in Devil May Cry 2, but that's another story for another day. Are you fucking serious? Other than those things, I'd say this game is pretty good. Definitely dated in its design choice, but I was a PlayStation 2 kid. I can live with this.
This being the only
Wow, fucking
2 minutes.
2 whole minutes? Yes, I was a PlayStation 2 kid even though I'm 19. Don't ask, please. While the castle is cramped in its design, I felt rewarded whenever I explored, whether that be extra orbs or the occasional vital star piece. By the end of the game, I had a good handful of these that I used to easily take down Mundus. It also has its nice selection of guns, my favorites being the shotgun and grenade launcher due to the sounds they make on impact as well as damage output. Bro, I genuinely don't give a fuck about anybody. I don't give a damn about no combo system. You all will die by my hand. You screamed very loud. I'm getting marionetted. What the fuck? You're the main problem, and I wish it would focus on you. Okay, you're fucking dead. That doesn't mean your default pistols, Ebony and Ivory, are useless, though, as they helped a lot with boss encounters like Griffin and also Mundus. There is one major drawback to using them, though, and that's my hand. Oh!
This can definitely go into the carpal tunnel of the video game category.
Every one of these is carpal tunnel. This is how I develop arthritis.
Your hand's gonna be all sort of fucked.
Oh my.
By the time this shit's over.
Ugh.
Alright, yeah, I think you got this.
Oh, my hand is killing me.
There's gotta be a lock. There's gotta be a lock.
Ah! My hand! It hurts! The pain! The pain! I feel so much fucking pain right now!
There's no way.
Go!
Got him.
Oh my fucking god, my hand is killing me! Oh!
Take a break.
Oh! Oh! As this was the first Devil May Cry game, it is also the first Devil May Cry game with Devil Trigger, which is also awesome. It has 2 different versions with Alistair and Ifrit, and each version was very satisfying regardless of which one I was using. If you feel the game is giving you too much shit, just wait to pull off Devil Trigger and you'll see as you're able to breeze through enemies. Yep, I'm keeping that take.
Bomb rush him.
Cheese! Cheese! Oh my god!
Put some cheese on that burger.
I had to get him in a fucking corner to be able to do that.
But you did it.
What kind of fucking game design was that? The game also isn't very long. It's comprised of 23 main missions, and my run was just over 6 hours. After all, Devil May Cry is a series that encourages multiple playthroughs. After my run, it unlocked hard mode, and I assumed if I completed that, it would unlock the infamous Dante Must Die. I don't know if I'll play the game again, though, on those difficulties, but maybe one day. Going back to the controls for a second, there's another thing I didn't like that I neglected to mention earlier, and that's during the first phase of the Mundus fight, you play as this devil-triggered up Dante who is flying around, and it has those flight controls where down is up and up is down. I hate that, especially when I'm not controlling an actual airplane. This is a devil-human hybrid. At the end, you do eventually control an airplane, which was horrible to control, and I, almost died towards the cinematic ending. What the hell? This is a control scheme that I do not miss, and I am so glad that modern gaming has all but phased it out at this point. If there was a setting to change this in the launcher, that's on me. If there wasn't a setting, that's on it. I know I probably left out some key details, but at the end of the day, these are just my opinions, and I'm just telling you what I liked and what I didn't. The good outweighs the bad, though, and if you enjoyed the Netflix series like me, I definitely recommend going back to the first game if you want to start playing the games. Do yourself a favor, though, and skip 2. I know there's going to be a portion of the fan base who probably doesn't agree with that, but I'm telling you, this is a horrible game. I played it for 1 hour, and man... Watch a lore video or something. Even then, that might be shorter than this review was. If you want to see me tackle 2, though, and the games afterwards, if the video does well enough, I could give it a shot. How well? I don't really have a number in mind, just if I'm happy with the numbers I see, I'll do it again. How about that? Otherwise, if you made it to the end of this review, thank you. I heavily appreciate it. If you like my opinions on any sort of matters or whatever, make sure to do the 3 holy grails of YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Peace. Jackpot!
He said the thing.
He said the thing. Did you really think I was gonna go through the whole video without making a jackpot joke?